It's destroying everything.
It's not destroying. It's making something new.
That's from the 2018 film Annihilation, based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Jeff Vandermeer. The film rights to his new novel have already been sold to Netflix, and the book's just out now. Jeff joins us this morning from his home in Florida with more on Hummingbird Salamander. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
So tell me the basis of this book.
Well, basically, a woman named Jane, who's a security analyst, receives a gift from a dead woman who turns out to be an eco-terrorist or eco-activist, depending on your point of view. And it turns out to be a piece of taxidermy, a hummingbird, and kind of an admonition to find a similar piece of taxidermy that's a salamander, hence the title. And just by accepting this gift in this kind of surveillance state and world that we live in, she sets off a series of events and kind of basically all hell breaks loose. So even just this minor investigation that she starts into why she's been given this sends her down a rabbit hole of all kinds of consequences and changes her life forever. And meanwhile, she also has this mystery of, why this dead woman gave this to her and what it means for the world, because this woman had pretty serious intentions to change the world in an environmental way.
Right, because the world in this novel has already changed considerably. Seasons aren't what they used to be. Weather conditions aren't normal anymore. And there's this underlying theme of just like this quiet pandemic, like it's almost as though pandemics are like, oh yeah, there's another pandemic going on. And I'm like, no, this cannot happen.
Well, I mean, that's the fact is we have had other pandemics and whatnot. We just haven't experienced them on this scale. And it is part and parcel kind of the climate emergency that we're in, that these things are occurring. And I thought it was useful to have it in the background because it is happening, but the novel wasn't meant ever to be about the pandemic. So I felt I had to acknowledge it and find a useful way to put it in there. But then I feel like everyone has their very personal experience of this year that they bring into the novel. And I didn't want to really disturb that either, if you know what I mean. Right.
Did you start writing this before the pandemic started, this current one?
I did, but I was lucky in the sense that the novel deals with these current events already. This fact that we're dealing with the uncertainty of the weather, the uncertainty of the seasons, and trying to figure out how to make our way through this climate crisis. So, I was also writing the last part of it during the pandemic and kind of channeling my own unease into Jane's journey as she becomes more and more paranoid and finds out more and more about the mystery.
Right. It also talks about the importance of each species. And I think this book will resonate a lot with our viewers because in the city next door to Hamilton, Burlington, they have an endangered species, a Jefferson salamander, that, a road is closed every spring so that these little things can mate. Now, the salamander in your story is much, much bigger and not real, but...
No, I was actually, when you told me about that, the Jefferson salamander, I was so thrilled because, for one thing, I always appreciate kindness to wildlife. The fact that you all actually close a road for that is amazing and so important. And it actually kind of speaks to the salamander in the book because a real biologist, Dr. Megan Brown, who actually lives not too far from you in upstate New York, came up with the salamander. I actually had her create the salamander and the hummingbird, and it's called the road newt, and it has two yellow stripes down the middle of its back as kind of a commentary on the fact that we really need to protect our wildlife more, and that roads are a major source of problems for amphibians. So it's definitely something that was on my mind and on the mind of the person who created our fake
right.
salamander.
We've got about 30 seconds left, but I wanted to, any idea of when the film on Netflix could come out or what's going on there?
There's a lot of excitement about it, and we're talking to a lot of really incredible people about what that film is going to look like. But at the same time, the pandemic has slowed everything down. So we're kind of in the early stages, but I'm really hopeful that this is going to get done. It's an exciting project.
Okay, I'm excited to see it on the screen. It was a fabulous read. Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. Jeff, great to talk to you this morning.
Nice to talk to you too. Thank you.